they understand that there's without a doubt going to be some nights where one or two need to sacrifice for the other and so forth. But I think they're all looking for that common goal. We're all looking for that common goal. I spoke to Kai and Kevin yesterday as this was going down, getting their thoughts, and I enjoyed hearing that conviction. And, you know, we've got some time to see how it translates onto the court.
It's a lot of firsts going on in this situation in Brooklyn. The one thing I'll say is everyone's kind of comparing a situation to the Heat and the last time that Brooklyn did this. These are very different situations. First of all, don't compare the Heat to anything. The Heat already had a championship. They had Pat Riley.
Great culture.
They had a great culture. Wade was already there, had already won a championship
Functional players.
It's not the same thing. So just stop comparing.
Highly functional players.
It's not the same thing. James Harden, obviously, and Kevin Durant have played together before. That was a long time ago, and they were two different players. So they are familiar with each other, so there is that. Kyrie Irving is out here skipping work to go to birthday parties during a pandemic, which we now know is the case because he's been fined, and he wouldn't have been fined if that didn't happen.
Right, NBA wouldn't fine him.
So we know that that's going on in the middle of the season, in the middle of a pandemic, with very strict health protocols. He's taking time off to go to birthday parties. Okay, so, and I'm saying that with the tone I'm saying it because people miss stuff all the time during this pandemic. You can't go to the birthday party. Zoom in. We figured out a way. I went to a Zoom wedding this year. One of my best friends. It was fine. She's very happy. We all figured it out. So there's a lot to put together. On top of the fact they have a first-time head coach.
Yes.
Who has not established a culture there clearly because Kyrie is skipping work to go to birthday parties.
Yeah, to me, it works if Kevin Durant, he's the best player. If Kevin Durant's got to really make it work, and by the way, in the end, LeBron couldn't make Kyrie, couldn't solve the riddle of Kyrie, so LeBron couldn't, and that's what he does better than anybody since Magic, is kind of solve the chemistry issues. You know, Magic entered the league with Kareem. Kareem was sort of prickly and a legend and could be difficult, and Magic's like putting his arm around him, and they're hugging. Like, Magic and LeBron figure stuff out, always did, and LeBron struggled at the end to figure Kyrie out, so can Kevin. I think it's tough.
I think I picked them to win the East before the season started, but that was because of Kevin Durant. I have a lot more faith in Kevin Durant than I think most people do, especially coming off of that injury.
He's a great player.
James Harden has to get in shape, and they have to figure out a way to make this chemistry work. And in basketball, I think more than any other sport, chemistry is so important. In the NFL, if you don't get along with the quarterback, your receiver, you're probably gone. Like, he's the one who's getting you the ball.
Right.
The three of them have to find a way to do it. And to Sean Mark's point, people have to sacrifice. And that's not even talking about the rest of the team who all have to find a way to play their role to the best of their ability. We're just talking about those three. What made teams that had three great players work, like the Miami Heat, is all of the role players knew exactly what they were supposed to do and did it to the best of their ability.
Yeah,
so a lot of moving parts here.
You know, I had a GM tell me 15 years ago in the NBA, it's not about getting stars, it's about getting the right stars. That's why Bosh, LeBron, and Wade worked. High functioning, you know, they're selfless guys, all understood sort of, you know, I mean, they kind of understood the world beyond just hoops. Like, can we get along? We're villains. I don't see that functionality with these guys, but we'll see. I mean, it's interesting. I'll watch.
Interesting.
I'll watch. And I think Harden won't take long to get into shape. Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Fox Sports app.
Big event. Oh, there's another big event this weekend. It's Joy's birthday. And we have a special present for Joy.
We do?
Yes, come on, bring it out. Folks, now what
guys.
kind of pie is that?
Is this key lime pie?
It's a key lime pie.
Oh my God, amazing. Thank you, Greg. That's my favorite pie. It's my favorite dessert.
I remember, I think I've told you this. You lived in Miami, so it's an incredible dessert because it doesn't feel, it's not heavy.
Yes.
So the first time I ever had it, I interviewed for a job in Tampa. I went to the Hyatt, and they had a restaurant down, so I'd never had it. I can remember where I was. I remember turning to the guy, it was Daniel Webster, was the news director. I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever eaten in my life. He goes, it's a key lime pie. We have it like 3 times a week. I'm like, I'm from like Seattle. We don't eat this stuff.
Yeah, they don't have key lime pie in Seattle. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. My birthday's on Sunday. I appreciate that.
Thank you. We don't ask age. You look radiant as ever.
It's on the internet. It's fine. But thank you. I am going to eat this, actually. Thank you.
Joy Taylor with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
So the Bucks lost to the Saints both times they played in the regular season.
Yes.
Their last matchup was particularly bad. The Bucks were blown out at home 38-3.
Mm-hmm.
But Tom Brady says we're going to see a different Bucks team on this Sunday night.
Well, I think we've certainly come a long way. I think we're just going to keep improving. The more we're together, the more we're talking about football, the more we're trying to be on the same page, the better it is. And we got a big test this weekend. One of the great teams in the NFL, and consistently been one of the great teams for a long time. And we're going to have to go play a great football game.
By the way, Antonio Brown not there for the first matchup, first game as a Buck in the second matchup. So he's become clearly a more disruptive force for that offense.
He's actually the key to this game to me. That's a very significant factor.
Yep.
It takes a little time to get things going. I had a lot of questions about if this was even going to work.
Oh, so did I.
He is clearly bought in, and it is working. And the Bucks finished the regular season 5-2 after that blowout loss to the Saints. And Brady was 22 of 40, 381 yards and 2 touchdowns against Washington, which admittedly was a blowout. But listen, Washington has a great defense.
Yeah.
So Taylor Heineke had a exciting game.
Yeah.
They actually, I feel like, played better than the Saints played against the Bears.
Yeah.
Now, the Bears have been known to make it ugly.
But so does Washington. And they weren't. No, I think it's close. I'll still take the Saints, but I don't think this game will look. Listen, Tampa's had 5 straight great weeks. If nothing else, they think they're really good.
I love the Saints. I love the Saints before the season. I picked them to go to the Super Bowl before the season. But this is the game this weekend that has the most upset possibility to me.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine if Brady, first year leaving New England, gets to the NFC Championship? That's just going to be delicious. That's 10 segments next week.
I mean, it's no disrespect to the Saints defense. I think they're amazing. And obviously, their offense is very dynamic. I just think that this is the game that will be the closest, will be a shootout, and maybe the upset. I don't see the Browns upsetting the Chiefs.
I know.
But Odell will disagree. The Browns pulled off the shocking upset of the Steelers last week. The upset to me last week wasn't as shocking as the way the upset happened.
28-0 lead.
Yes, but a lot of people are counting them out on Sunday against the Chiefs, and Odell won't be playing, but he has a lot of confidence in his team. He tweeted, "Don't be surprised this weekend when they win. Just throwing it out there now." So he is still behind the Brownies. They are 10-point underdogs to the Chiefs, according to Fox Bet, which neither one of us can seem to figure out why that spread is so big. I do think that they cover. I don't think they're going to win by 10. But that's not really a knock on the Chiefs to me. Like, it's the NFL. I think we've gotten a little, and maybe this is a product of us building the Chiefs up so much that we expect the Chiefs to blow everybody out.
I think we're sports opinionists. You were more of a reporter into the opinion space. I was always just sort of a loudmouth. But I think we're all rooting for the same thing. We just like fascinating and interesting and fun, and Kansas City's all of those.
Right.
And so we're kind of like thinking, okay, we just came out of a boring dynasty where it was about efficiency and picking up third downs into this Golden State Warrior type, Shaq, Kobe type dynasty. And I got to be honest a lot of people in the media are rooting for it because, and it's Midwest. It's Andy Reid.
Very fun. Everyone's likable. There's no villains.
Everybody wants to see Green Bay and Kansas City, Indianapolis. It's fun. It's the small market, middle of the country. It fits sort of the NFL shield, which is market size is irrelevant, tough football.
I love the Chiefs. I don't know why it's expected of them to win by 2 scores in every single game when most NFL games are decided by 3 points. Like, they haven't blown anybody out, which is as of recent, which is why the spread is so strange to me. Like, I don't think they're going to blow the Browns out, but I do think that they will win. So soon we'll get to see how Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and